I have been thinking about the quiet moment when you agree to something you already know you should not agree to. Nothing dramatic happens in that moment. No alarm goes off, but something does get set. You teach people what is acceptable by what you repeatedly say yes to, not by what you claim to value, not by what you complain about later, not by what you privately resent, by what you allow. The line people actually see. Every yes is instructional. It tells people, this works with me. It tells the market, the customer, the partner, the employee, the friend, or even your own family where the line really is. That is the part we do not always want to face. We like to think our values speak for themselves. We assume people should know what we meant, what we stand for, what we wished had happened. But people do not learn our standards from our private thoughts. They learn from our patterns. If you say yes to disrespect, you teach people that access to you does not require respect. If you say yes to bad fit customers, you teach your company that revenue matters more than sanity, standards, or mission. If you say yes to every urgent request, you teach people that your time is available for anyone else's lack of planning. If you say yes to work that violates your principles, you teach yourself that your principles are negotiable when opportunity shows up wearing a nice suit. Every yes is instructional. That sentence lands hard because it leaves very little room to hide. It means your boundaries are not really made of what you say in a calm moment. They are made of what you permit under pressure, under temptation, under the promise of money, approval, convenience, or access. What you allow becomes the lesson. This is true in business, and it is true in personal life. A bad yes does not stay contained to one moment. It becomes a signal. It tells other people how to approach you next time. It tells your team what gets rewarded. It tells your customers what kind of behavior the company will tolerate. It tells your family how firm or how flexible your line really is. It also teaches you something about yourself. That may be the hardest part. When you say yes to work that violates your principles, you are not just making one compromise. You are practicing compromise. You are rehearsing the belief that your values are solid until the right offer appears. You are teaching yourself that your principles can be moved if the opportunity looks polished enough. And once that lesson gets repeated, it gets easier to repeat again. The next yes matters. I think this is why so many frustrations feel familiar. We say we do not want a thing, then we allow it. Then we resent it. Then we act surprised when it returns. But why would it not return? We taught it the way in. So the real work is not only saying what matters to you. The real work is making sure your repeated yeses do not argue with your stated values. It is closing the gap between what you believe and what you allow. That starts in small places. A request, a customer, a conversation, a job, a favor, a moment when something in you already knows the answer before your mouth catches up. I keep coming back to that quiet moment because that is where the lesson begins. It still does not look dramatic. No alarm goes off. But something does get set. The next time that moment arrives, pause long enough to tell the truth and let your next no teach the lesson your last yes did not.